figure out this new world we're in. Okay, what I want to start with is the assignments that are due. These are all due before or on November 24th at 5 p.m. That's the day before Thanksgiving break. It's actually a school dismissal day. It's a Tuesday. Okay. I don't know why we need another dismissal day, but I'm not in charge, so we just do what we're told. So in Mechanical 1, you have an isometric orthographic projection worksheet. That is going to be very, very similar to one you then do in mechanical, or these classes are actually called CAD Mechanical Design, but that's the same one you find in the second class. So you have one in this course. That's the first course. And if we go into your, and these are the announcements for you. I posted them yesterday, I think. You have a few others here, okay? So there's a Module 5 assessment. I think that one is one I moved the due date on for you, so you can get that in. So it's a Module 5 Introduction Assessment, Module 6 Introduction Assessment. And I changed the name from pre-quiz because you guys all think those are not important. So I changed the name so you'd stop asking me, is this on my grade? Yeah, they are. Everything's on your grade. I don't have you do anything that I don't grade. That's just like, that's like, who does that? You don't do things that don't get paid for it. That's not American. So everything you get is graded. It goes on your scores. Then you have an isometric orthographic worksheet, very similar to the one in the other course. Very similar. Okay. Then there's some others, and this is all about visual assessment, so you can visualize where things are. What's going to happen is once you get your lightsaber completely done, you have to dimension that thing so it can be built. Now, we're just going to 3D print it, but if you took it to a machine shop, you want it dimensioned so that the machinist can put that down on the CNC machine and reproduce everything for you out of aluminum or wood or whatever else you want to make it out of. So ultimately, that's our goal, is have these reproduced. You can start submitting your parts as soon as you have them done. Okay, so there is an area called Lightsaber Parts Ready to 3D Print that you can start uploading those. I am going to ask you, please put your name in the name of the files, because when they all come in and they're all like bottom, top, middle, it's going to get really hard to keep them straight as to whose goes where. So if you'll just include your name in the file name, that would help me keep your parts together. Usually it's not too much of an issue, but where so many of you are in and out every other week, it's a little hard to keep track of everything. So if you'll help me with that, I appreciate it. Okay, so on that note, in there, I have a few colors that you can choose from on these. You can also include that, and you can do that either by email or include it in the name of your part. So the colors that I currently have that are available for you to use to print, okay? And I'll probably put an announcement about this afternoon, but there's black. Black's always sexy, you know, it's just what it is. There's basically it's gunmetal gray, so it's a kind of a good metal gold. It's a silk. I don't even have a copy of that one. It's gunmetal. There's orange, which is the obnoxious orange that we've all come to love for Halloween. This is my least favorite. It's called tangerine. I really hate this color, but it's the cheapest one, so I buy a lot of it. There's yellow. There is blue. There's white. There's ivory. I think that's where I'm at right now with colors. Okay, so there's blue, gray, black, white, ivory, yellow, and orange. Okay, now all of these you can paint. I know some of you are wanting to go and wrap these in carbon fiber. We may not make that, depending on how it gets back, we'll try and get that to work still. We are getting to the end where we have to start working on a few other things like assessments and crazy things like that. So we're still trying to make that work and get that to happen for you, because I know that was an important part for you. If you're going to do it with a fabric, so like maybe you want to do it camouflage, you need to buy some cotton camouflage fabric to use, okay? It works really good when you just put the hard resin over it on that. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is threads. I've printed off a few different parts for people to check their threads, and none of them have really fit. And part of that is you're not here to see it, and so you move on, you forget about it. So while threads are really important, and we need to focus on getting those, we might have to focus on those in the third class a little heavier for you, those that come with me next semester, okay? Because we're just running out of visibility. So hopefully next semester you're all inoculated. I'm pretty sure something will happen that makes sure students get their injections. You have to get 2 a week apart, but it'll be worth it if we can get rid of the dang masks, right? And we can actually do some more things. So don't freak out on the threads, okay? A lot of you are really struggling with the concept of what size to make them because you're not here to ask the question, and so you're just kind of guessing. So if you just do the friction fits, okay, just the slide and go, these will loosen over time, but what you can do is if it's a part that you're not going to take off a lot, we can glue them in. And you just use the same glue that your dad uses on the sprinkler system. It's ABS. You just glue it, okay? Super glue works. You can hot glue the dang thing. That's a little messier. You can glue the part. So like the top part of your assembly, let me just get rid of this guy. I will never, ever pull this apart up here. Once those wires are in there, the only reason I take it apart ever would be to rewire it and put new lights in. That's going to be like 10 years down the road. And by then, I'm probably not in the mood to even care. I'll probably just make a new one. You know, I mean, you get to a point in life where it's like, oh, this means so much to me now, but then down the road, it's like, I want to do something different, okay? So this top part, I would probably never take apart again because I don't want the wires to become shorted out or crimped. The part that does come off is what battery is, okay? So if I was to just do that with the part we did, we have to go back to that piece. Let me see if I can find that quick enough. Not that quick enough. If you remember how we did the bottoms there, I can find the dang thing. Oh, this will work. Where we just did the turn and lock, that will hold that battery in place a lot. And if that gets loose, you can use the same stuff your dad uses on the sprinkler system. Wrap that sucker in some Teflon tape. It's an amazing thing. It tightens it up really good. So don't freak out on stressing over getting those threads in place because you're distancing a lot. And if we're going to get these printed, we need to definitely start by next week for sure on printing these in order to get them done in time for you to get the wiring all in there. It takes a while to get these done. So a little bit of pressure, not much, just a little bit, okay, on that. And let's see, what else can I tell you today? What do you want to know? So usually at this point, students start asking me weird questions about life and how it works, but I'm doing a lot to try and check for making sure these things are the right sizes. So when you submit them, usually I would, in normal years, you would take your STL, you would go in there and you set up yourself. I still intend that to be the case. You still need to learn how to run a 3D printer. So those that are here will do that. If you're not here, I've got another project for you to 3D print. So you need to learn how to 3D print. That's just kind of a life skill now to have. So we'll work that as we go. We are launching rockets Thursday, regardless of where everybody's at. I had planned that would be a good day because at the point, you all would have been back. And then we started dropping off again. So we're going to launch on Thursday. Those who cannot come in, okay, because you're on distance, and you've gone distance for a longer period of time than one more day. So I got approval for those who had just one day to go that come back on the 20th. But if you've got like 7 days to go, I can't bring you in. There's just no way to do that. So we're going to launch Thursday. The ones that don't launch, we will slip out and you'll shoot them from wherever that may be. And you'll get to at least launch at once. Okay, so I make that commitment to you that you'll at least get to launch. But we do have to do the group launch Thursday. Okay. Questions on that information? check in to see. Hey, guess who just showed up? Hours. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Payne. I am so glad you're here because I just finished all of the announcements for the day.
Dude, I'm so sorry. It was a late night last night.
You stayed up with your mom late at night?
Yeah, dude, we were watching movies all night, cuddling, all that.
All that? Well, that was poorly chosen time. Okay, you'll have to watch the recording because I'm not repeating it for you. I'm tired. I got
Is it about the Saber or is it like
It
the
is. You got
clubs and stuff?
Saber, your assignments, what's going on Thursday, what life's gonna bring to us next. Yeah, it's all that. It was
Okay.
it was important. I
Okay,
mean,
I'll watch
the
it.
important things. So but that's okay. I'm glad you got up. At least you
Yeah.
put some clothes on. So appreciate that. Okay. The next thing I need to know from you guys on our little list of announcements is how many of you would like to take the SolidWorks certification exam. Okay, so what I'll need you to do is go ahead and send me an email because I have to set you up with a voucher code on that. I will then go through and do several practice test like things to get you ready for it. They're not really tests, but they're practices. The SolidWorks certification exam, the first one, it works like this. You are given parts that you have to modify, and so you have to be able to read the dimensions, make the changes to them, and then match it to the nearest, well, you have to go out to 10,000ths of a decimal point of accuracy. So you've got to be dead on accurate with it. And I'm going to help you with that. So that's the first half of the test. The second half, so we'll do this in 2 days because it's 3 hours. Well, maybe we can do it one day. Depends on how generous you guys feel with your time. I usually like to do it in 2 different days because your brain gets a little fried. The second half of the test is working with assemblies. You do not have to make the parts at all. They're given to you, but you have to put them together precisely. So you can find, and it's measured on the center of gravity for that part or the centroid axis of the part. And there's various things that get put together. We will do that here in the lab. We have between December 1st and the end of the semester to do that. And if you feel like you can't quite make it, there are retakes allowed on that. You just have to wait 14 days between your first test and your second test. What that means is in that 14 days, they would change all the questions. So that's just how it works. That's certification exam. If you are going to be with me in the Technical Engineering 3, which I would recommend, that's a little bit more bigger scale projects, and it's mostly your design. You can also take it then. If you take the test this semester and pass it, and this is the associate level that I'm giving you first, then you can take the professional level next semester. Each of those are lifetime certifications. They go on your resume and they help you find work in this type of industry that you're doing. So it's kind of a good one. I think most of my students pass it. It's not terribly complex, and we will definitely go through and do some practicing on what to do with that. And I'll use older test parts so that you can see how they go together and what they do. Probably the most complicated one that's ever shown up was making a robotic claw. So if you know the old claw game, it's a little like that. It's a little clamp that it has to be spaced just right on the jaws. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. But we'll go through that and get you set up for how to set those and be ready to make those changes. So it shouldn't be too terribly hard for you. We also have the state test coming up. There's 2 ways we can do that one. And I prefer choice 1. Choice 1 is you're here and take it. The other option is you take it downstairs in the main lecture area with everybody else on a laptop or a Chromebook. You'd want to be here. I can answer questions here. I can't answer questions for you down there. Okay, so we'll do some prep for that. You've seen the questions. You guys have 2 of those to take. Woohoo! You can do them in the same day or you can do them in 2 different days. That's up to you how we do that. They usually take a total of 40 minutes to do 2 tests. They're not terribly complex, okay? All right, that's a heck of a lot of information this morning in the first 15 minutes. Let's take a look then at our lightsaber design and see if we can get some of these kind of accomplished off here. Like I say, you should be at the point where you're putting on your embellishments, what makes it unique to you, what you like with that. Getting those emails in now, cool. And so we can get that. So again, if you want to take the certification exam, please let me know because I get those. You have what you get is you get a serial number, and you have to put that into the test system to take it. Okay, now, what do you guys need to know about decorating up your lightsaber? I did the top part with you guys last time. It ended up being all bullets. Strange way that life impacts your design. I've never done a bullet motif before, but what the heck, you know, it's all good. What do you need to help with? What are you struggling with? Say for the class, what do you want to see and how to get your stuff on here right? And I do need to put a little RFI receiver in here on this piece here. So what, do you want me to do that part, put that little RFI chip? I thought I did that for you guys.
You did do that.
Yeah, what's that?
You did that part with like the little hole.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where my little hole went. That's a little sad that I didn't save my work. So sad. Okay, anything else you guys want to see? What are you trying to put on there? What helps you need? Because otherwise it's be a very quiet day, and I don't know if I can handle any more quiet classrooms. I am not used to there not being chatter in class. You guys are all muzzled. It's like watching Lady and Trap and no beaver to chop the dang thing. So you don't watch Lady and Trap. Talking to the wrong generation. Any questions at all? Questions about where Batman beats Superman? I can tell you right now, Batman will never beat Superman. Superman can shoot Batman with these laser arms from space.
Whoa, duh! It's like a god versus a dude.
I know, isn't that cool? That's kind of like life, isn't it? Okay, so at that point, see how quiet it is. I'm gonna go keep embellishing. Yes. You got a question? Okay, I'm gonna run over there then. I'm gonna just pause the dead space because it takes. Sure.
Do you have some transparent like plastic
I do.
so you can like see the interior?
Are you
Or
completely transparent?
well, because what I was thinking was maybe you make like a ornament, but like the outside of it is that transparent, and then you like put something cool on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have acrylic, and I'll show you and if you're not Christian, I'm sorry, but this is the one that I did for a client. So this is that same material, and I don't know if you can see the etching on there, but you can etch on the laser and make an ornament. And so those go pretty well. So this one's very Christian in nature, but you could do like snowflakes and snowman. I usually, in the past, we've done an animated video with SolidWorks, but you've all got to be here to do that because it's kind of intensive, and laptops tend to struggle with that just a little bit. But yes, I do have clear acrylic that we can use to make some Christmas ornaments, and use the laser, because that's the other thing you need to learn before the semester ends. Besides set up your 3D prints, how to use the laser. And so that is super, super important. So I will try and write up a really detailed step-by-step on what these are like to do. Ornaments are really quite easy. It's just a matter of the time you need to do them. And so we'll focus heavily on that right after Thanksgiving break. I'm hoping everybody's back. I'm hoping we're all back in school. There is still talk about doing a 2-week shutdown from Thanksgiving to Christmas, so I don't know if that's a heaven or not. Riley asks, what day did we do the lightsaber top? Oh, man, that's a good question, sir. Let me go back in the course. And in announcements. So if you click on the announcements on the side, probably right here on the 11th, maybe. Is this the one I did? No, that's the, maybe. Yep. Chamfer. Yep, on the 11th. That's the one. Control that just a little more. So that's what I did that. It was on the 11th. Does that help? So the thing is just to remember, you gotta get wires through from the battery compartment all the way up to the top. You gotta make sure you got room for all those batteries and wires. Super important. All right. Any other questions? Okie dokie. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and work on this and yeah, get some more maybe fixes on it.